everybody, welcome back to Let's Talk Physical Media. I am your host, John. This is the weekly news show where we talk everything in the world of physical media, and sometimes we talk about some stuff just in the world of news. And it was a pretty slow week in the world of physical media, but we did get some pretty big announcements. The first one being my beloved Lethal Weapon is officially confirmed for 4K Blu-ray on May 19, 2025. We got our first sneak peek at the UK release, which, of course, the UK usually gets the nicer editions of these Warner Brothers releases. They get those really nice collector's editions like Blazing Saddles from last year, North by Northwest. Here in the United States, we usually just get a steelbook release and a standard edition release, and you get to choose from those. The artwork on the steelbook release is not been confirmed yet. It's probably Warner Brothers doing like some alternate artwork, if I had to guess. That's usually what they do. It will not be the movie poster on there. Probably won't be the movie poster on the standard edition as well. That's fine. I'm just really happy that Lethal Weapon is coming to 4K Blu-ray. My only concern is it's only the first Lethal Weapon coming to 4K Blu-ray, and if you guys remember last year, Warner Brothers also did a Nightmare on Elm Street on 4K Blu-ray, and that only came alone. It also got a collector's edition in the UK as well. But, we didn't get any of the sequels, and people were like, should I wait for that future big box set that is coming? And I said, no, you know what? I don't know when that's going to be coming. It probably will come eventually, but maybe sometime down the line. It might not even include the original one. But then, of course, we heard earlier this year we're going to be getting all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies in a nice collector set with steelbooks as well. So, I don't know. I eventually think that Lethal Weapon will probably get all 4 films released on 4K Blu-ray, but probably not until 2026. So, if you're a Lethal Weapon fan, you gotta grab this one on 4K Blu-ray, and I know I'll be grabbing it day one because Lethal Weapon is one of my all-time favorite films. I absolutely love Lethal Weapon. I watched it around Christmas time like I do every single year, and I'll have no problem watching it on May 19th when that 4K Blu-ray comes out. So, I'm really psyched about that. That's the greatest buddy cop film of all time. Mel Gibson and Danny Glover just have incredible chemistry in that movie, and the movie's just endlessly rewatchable. What do you say? You want a shot at the title? But anyway, we also got some other Warner Brothers confirmation that those Clint Eastwood 4K Blu-rays that we've been talking a lot about here on the channel, Pale Rider, The Outlaw Josie Wales, and of course the big one, Dirty Harry, coming to 4K Blu-ray. Well, it's confirmed for April 15, 2025, and of course there's also going to be some standard editions, which look like they got no slipcover on it, and each of them have very similar artwork, making sure that you know that these came out around the same time, even though in like a year or two people might ask, why do these all have similar artwork despite the fact they're not even in the same franchise? It just kind of feels like lazy standard edition artwork, kind of pushing you to get the 4K steelbooks, and I won't lie to you guys, I already pre-ordered those 4K steelbooks from Groove. They come out around my birthday and my anniversary, and I asked my wife, I said, hey, for my birthday / anniversary gift this year, you know what? I'm just going to buy these 4K steelbooks from Groove. They're about $100 if you get all 3, and, we'll get you something nice for our anniversary as well. Maybe not Clint Eastwood related, but hey, these 4K steelbooks, I gotta have them. I mean, more Clint Eastwood on 4K Blu-ray. That's all you could ask for. That's also the same month that we're going to be getting A Fistful of Dollars on 4K Blu-ray from Arrow Video. And then, of course, May we'll get for a few dollars more. And then in June, we'll get the good, the bad, and the ugly. So a lot of Clint Eastwood coming out this year. A lot of David Fincher and a lot of Clint Eastwood 4K Blu-rays. And I'm there for it. Like I said, I think these steelbooks are definitely the better route to go. And I'm not the world's biggest steelbook fan, but these standard editions are extremely lazy, in my opinion. They really just want you to grab those steelbooks because they just put nothing into those standard editions. Although, if they're like $23 and you're just there for the disc, I can understand that. And of course, you could buy like a custom slipcover for the standard editions as well, so you could save a little money that way. I actually kind of like that idea, but these steelbooks aren't too bad, and even though I'm not the biggest steelbook guy, I'll probably just go that route. I got it for like $29.99, I think they were on Groove, which isn't too bad for a 4K steelbook, even though I know it's Warner Brothers and it will be a 1-disc set. And then another huge announcement this week is The Sound of Music celebrating 60 years. Disney announced that's going to be getting a 4K Blu-ray release sometime later this year, probably around November if I had to guess. That's one of the most famous films ever. I actually saw that in music class for the first time when I was in 7th grade. I've only seen it a couple times since. I'm not the world's biggest Sound of Music fan. It's a musical, and musicals just don't necessarily resonate with me, but of course this is one of the most famous films ever, so to see this getting a 4K Blu-ray release is awesome. Of course, it's from Disney, so are we taking bets on what this 4K Blu-ray is going to cost when it comes out? It'll probably get a steelbook for $85 or something like that, and a standard edition for $40, if I had to guess, which I will not buy at those prices, if that is true. I'm just, over-exaggerating, I hope, here. But anyway, They also put out a full press release about this, so I imagine that this restoration process is something that they're very proud of, which is good because The Sound of Music is a beloved film and it absolutely deserves a beautiful 4K Blu-ray release, especially for the fans of this movie. So it does always make me happy to see people talking about the entire process. I think it said about 9 months they've been working on this transfer, and that's really cool. I'm really glad to see that they're really putting all of their effort into giving us a beautiful 4K Blu-ray release. That's all I ask for. Sometimes we get these really lazy 4K Blu-ray releases where the studios, just said, hey, get it out there, slap the 4K logo on it, and, these fans, these collectors, they'll just grab it. And sometimes that does work. I've grabbed some bad 4K Blu-rays out there that, I just got excited to see one of my favorite movies come in a 4K Blu-ray. But when you hear a studio say, hey, we're putting all of our effort into making sure that this 4K Blu-ray is everything that the fans are hoping for, as a physical media collector, I think that's all we can ask for, even though it is Disney, and we've gotten burned by Disney many times in the past. And, maybe they can't be trusted, but hey, if you're a fan of The Sound of Music, I think you'll be very happy with this coming to 4K Blu-ray. I'll probably end up grabbing it as long as it's like, $30 or less, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. And then the last bit of news I want to talk to you guys about today isn't necessarily physical media related, but I happen to be a huge James Bond fan, a huge fan of the James Bond franchise. It's arguably my favorite franchise of all time. I mean, this franchise has been going since the 1960s. Daniel Craig wrapped up with No Time to Die not too long ago. And for years, a lot of us have been asking, who's going to be the next James Bond? Well, the Broccoli family announced this week that, we already had known that Amazon and the Broccoli family had co-owned MGM and had the rights to the James Bond franchise. But the Broccoli family announced that they were going to be pulling back, even though they're going to still co-own the James Bond franchise. Their creative control is going to be pulled back, and they have handed over full creative control over to Amazon. And Amazon, well, in the physical media world, Amazon is kind of like the devil because of the way they treat 4K Blu-ray discs and how they just consistently delay your releases, even if you pre-order them. Like I pre-ordered Nosferatu on 4K Blu-ray. It says it'll be here Wednesday, May 5th. It says it'll be here Wednesday, March 5th. I pre-ordered that 4K Blu-ray. Shouldn't you honor the pre-order date? But Amazon's not into doing things like that. The Amazon guy loves to take that 4K disc and chuck it as far as he can until it hits your house and cracks the case. Those people are now going to have full control of the James Bond franchise. And, a lot of people like myself are kind of getting a little bit upset about it. And I did talk to my buddy David, aka Shamrock Balls, my co-host of the Let's Talk Movie podcast. And usually I'm the one talking him off a cliff about like modern films, but he kind of talked me off a cliff about this one because, I gotta be honest, my initial reaction when I saw this, I kind of saw red because I got PTSD about what Disney did to like Star Wars and how they ruined the MCU with their Disney Plus shows. And I'm seeing, I'm like, oh, great. We're going to get a backstory on Jaws and everything that he went through, or on we're going to make Goldfinger a tragic figure who had a horrible childhood. We're going to have to give reasons for everything. We're going to find out all these ridiculous reasons why all these characters have their names, just like Han Solo. Oh, you're going solo? Yeah, Han Solo. That's why you're named Han Solo. I'll never get over seeing that. So, Disney, they put that nail in the Star Wars coffin, and they started out great. I really did love The Force Awakens and Rogue One. I was so impressed with Disney with their first two films that they put out. The Force Awakens is still my third favorite Star Wars film, and everything that came after that in Rogue One is pretty bad. And the Disney Plus shows, minus The Mandalorian, which is great, are not great as well. Same thing with the MCU. So I'm just really afraid that Amazon is going to do the same thing with the James Bond franchise. Now, they do have the choices here to make some fantastic movies, fantastic shows. There's so many good options that they can go with here, but we've kind of been pre-programmed to believe that they are going to do the worst things with the James Bond franchise. All we can hope is that they don't do that. They go the positive route. They give the fans of the James Bond franchise everything they've ever wanted. But we live in a capitalist society run by corporations like Amazon, and what comes first when you live in a capitalist society with corporations running the show? You end up with greed, and greed is always going to lead the pack. Money comes first, then the art. Unfortunately, fans of film have learned that the hard way a lot through the years, and unfortunately we'll probably end up with more bad than good James Bond. But of course, this is just all speculation. My hope is that Amazon doesn't fumble the ball with this. Jeff Bezos, the owner of Amazon, even put out a tweet, or X, or whatever the fuck they call that site now, saying, who do you guys want to be the next James Bond? That's not how you find the next James Bond, guys. People were commenting Tom Cruise, Henry Cavill, like, cool, that's all great and all, but, James Bond's supposed to be James Bond for about 10 years, we got to find the perfect James Bond. And I hope that Amazon does take finding the next James Bond very seriously, because that is a big part of the James Bond franchise, is who is going to be the next James Bond. We've only had a handful in over 50 years of Bonds, so my hope is that they don't fumble the ball with this one, because James Bond is a franchise that I absolutely cherish, and I know there's a ton of people who watch this show as well, and a lot of fans across the globe who absolutely love the James Bond franchise that are a little upset about this, like myself. But of course, let's just try and look at the positives and hope we get some great films, and if we do get some TV shows, they don't butcher the Bond brand. But anyway, guys, that's going to do it here for me on another episode of Let's Talk Physical Media. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of the show. What did you guys think of the news that was announced this week? Are you excited for Lethal Weapon and the Sound of Music? So just let me know what you guys thought in the comment section. And guys, while you're down there, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. We also have channel memberships, so if you want to become a friend of the channel, a producer for the channel like John Doe Juggalo, a channel director like Kevin Kruger, or a bankroll member like Frank from Frank's Media and Reviews and Mr. Smelly Potato, you guys can find all of that information in the description below. And don't forget, if you are a channel member and the producers are higher, the first Tuesday of March, we're going to be doing a channel members giveaway for those channel members. We'll put your name on a magic wheel, we'll spin that bad boy, and the winner of that has the choice of a 4K Blu-ray that I have over here, including Constantine on 4K Steelbook. So any one of the producers or higher will be entered into that giveaway. But if you got no money to throw away, guys, don't you worry about it all. We just hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, get out in those streets, tell your friends about us, and then we'll be seeing you around.